When we buy skincare products in a store like this, we know they're safe. They're regulated, they're familiar. Retail stores like these are usually official distributors. This means they get their products directly from brands. But once we leave the store, sometimes we do something else. We go online to compare prices. And sometimes we find the same product costing a lot less. I'm looking specifically at skincare. And this includes facial cleansers, serums, moisturizers, face masks, sterile gels, and sunscreen. And across different known brands, the price difference can come up to 30%. But here's the problem. How do you tell if it's the real deal? On this episode of Talking Point, we find out if you are unknowingly buying counterfeit products.
Alright, this is how I differentiate between the real and fake product.
These are some of the videos Roy Tan creates. Apart from reviewing skincare products, he also warns his 1,200 followers of counterfeits online. So far, he has posted dozens of such videos.
I previously used to work at a beauty distributor company in Singapore, so I had a little bit of an insight towards the whole back-end system. If the product is from the brand itself, they tend to put in a little bit more effort in the listing itself, making sure that there's no spelling errors, punctuation mistakes, for example. So it's not just on the product, but also on the listings.
Down to the grammar.
Yeah.
How did you come across counterfeit skincare and what was your experience with it?
So when I saw that this certain brand was being featured on the platform's main page, but the price was too good to be true, alarms were ringing, and then I decided to go through the listing, and it turns out that there were more sort of telltale signs that might show that this is possibly a counterfeit product, but I just wanted to take the gamble. So I purchased it, and then when I compared it with the original products I have at home, I realized that it actually turns out, my hunch was right.
Okay, so tell me, how did you know that it was counterfeit?
The biggest red flag would be the price. If the price is too good to be true, let's be honest, it's probably not going to be authentic.
Really?
One way to also see is if the seller is selling multiple brands, but they tend to have repeated listings for the same product. So for example, this moisturizer, they have listing A, listing B, listing C, they're all the same, and maybe the price is few dollars difference here and there, because usually when that happens, it means there's a possibility that the product is fake, so they know that there might be a likelihood that the listing will be taken down.
Okay.
So that's why they have repeated listings. Yeah.
Why and when did you start making videos to inform viewers about counterfeit products?
The platform wants us to trust them that the brands they have featured or the brands they have on their platform is all authentic, correct? So when it's being featured, you will feel okay, there's that stamp of confidence. But I realized that that wasn't the case, and I felt a need to share because I think a lot of consumers these days, they are not aware of the items they are buying being fake.
But how easy is it for an average person to detect counterfeits?
I would say that it's pretty hard, even for me as a person that consumes a lot of beauty. It really tests my, tests my eyesight, tests my eye power, tests my spidey senses. It's really difficult, I feel, even when you have the product side by side.
So you are going to give me some tips, right, on how to detect a counterfeit?
I will try my best. Actually, I brought a couple of products here with me, and some of them you really cannot tell the difference unless you have the actual product beside you.
Oh, that's tough then. All right, show me.
So, I have the same serum, two different variations. Try to figure out which is the real and which is the fake. Feel it, smell it.
Okay, I know. This is real.
Why?
This one feels almost not
very
the
coarse.
best quality.
Okay. What else?
One, everything else looks very similar. Shall I open it up? Oh.
Is this more obvious now?
This is so much more obvious. Why is it green?
Yeah, I know.
It's so off.
I got a shock.
A clear color. Oh, this one is scary. But yeah, this makes it a lot more obvious, I feel.
So there are usually 4 tips that I'll go by when I look at the item. So the very first one is the texture of the item. The other thing that I would actually look at is the color. So not only the color of the product itself, but also the color of the packaging. If you are very familiar with the brand colors, for example, color will be a good way to differentiate. Third one is actually the text. I think spelling mistakes used to be something that was very common for fake products in the past, but these days, manufacturers, they are like very smart about it. So I go with punctuation mistakes, like an extra space bar, an extra comma.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the very last one is actually the font. There will be some products where the font, you can actually see a visible difference. So with that, with all those 4 pointers,
Alright.
let me quiz you.
Okay.
Okay, this is level 2. Which of this do you think is the real one?
They look exactly the same.
They
No,
feel
this
similar as well, right?
Yeah, this is scary because they feel similar.
How about the product itself? Would you want to like open it and take a look?
Okay, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Let me help you with this.
What? I can't tell! Can I call a
Focus,
friend?
focus. If I were to tell you to open up the serum, there is a slight difference in terms of the scent. You can smell this.
Ah.
Yeah, so the fake one has a little bit of like a plasticky,
Yeah.
chalky sort of scent. It's not a very heavy one, I would say, having experienced a lot of fake products before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's there.
Yeah, and if you compare the two, then you definitely know that this is
Yeah.
smells fresh.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what do you do when you only have it? When you only have the one item that you purchase?
This one will be tough.
Right.
I wouldn't know until I have the original. How common and urgent is the problem with counterfeit skincare?
I think with more e-commerce platforms coming up, and it's very hard to filter through all of this, especially with like cross-border e-commerce whereby products are being shipped directly from another countries. Yeah, so I think it is more common than people would think.
Especially with the issue of fast deals, right? If you see something is of a lower price, you definitely want it.
Yep. You just need to have a discerning eye and be a little bit more careful and a bit more cautious. If something is too good to be true, usually it isn't.
is.
Yeah.
Yet over the years, K-beauty products have been a major target due to its popularity. In 2025 alone, K-beauty brands reported violations tied to intellectual property theft to the tune of $19.7 million. This is more than 24 times the amount recorded in 2024. Globally, reports note that at least 2/3 of cosmetic items bought online may be counterfeit. So what are the odds of us getting a counterfeit product? I'm going to buy 6 different types of popular skincare products online from sellers that look completely legitimate. Facial cleansers, serums, moisturizers, face masks, sterile gels, and sunscreen. I'll buy 3 of each type of product. For control samples, we bought versions from hospital pharmacies and authorized retail stores. I'm deliberately choosing sellers that seem reputable. They have lots of reviews, high ratings, active shop fronts. Photos and videos always help in reviews, so you can actually see how the item looks and how they are received. It's really hard to tell because they look legitimate enough and their reviews are actually personal. I'll be purchasing some products, and once they arrive, I'm sending all of them to the lab for testing. The products have arrived. I have split them into 2 piles. The 6 in here were bought from authorized retailers. And the 18 products here, I bought them online. I bought 3 of each type of product, though they come from different sellers. I have no way to tell whether a product is authentic or a counterfeit. That's the problem. So I'm taking them to be tested. I'm making my way to SGS Labs, a private lab that specializes in counterfeit product testing. Where we're meeting Sam, a chemist. She uses a special technique to find out just how similar the products I bought online are to the ones bought from official retailers.
And the test outcome will be expressed as matching percentage.
Each sample has a unique chemical fingerprint called a spectrum. The closer the sample is to the authentic product, the likelier it is to contain the same ingredient composition. All right, so we have the results. Sam, please talk me through what this means. So to understand better, this is where the authentic product is.
Yes, of course, we will always label the reference sample as 100%, and we compare these against the reference samples.
All right, so these ones are really, really low. So what does that mean?
It indicates there are some difference between these products and the products we have used it as a reference. As you can see here, sample C have the very high matching score.
Oh, wow.
So as you can see here, all three products have a lower match, which is less than 50%, which indicates there are some difference. It could be in ingredients or any formulations.
Okay, but would you buy this product, any of these products?
If the result is questionable, it is always advised to avoid.
We bought 6 different types of skincare products. Out of the 18 differently sourced samples, all the cleansers matched the original products by slightly more than half. One moisturizer fared dismally low, with only an 8% match. Of the face masks, 2 fared really poorly with less than 50% matching score. All the face serums fared dismally low. The good news is, one of the sunscreen and all the sterile gels had a close to 100% match with the authentic product. I'm meeting Ng Guang Kai, a product authentication expert. He has worked to combat counterfeits for brands for 18 years, and I'm bringing him our lab results. Can you tell if these products are counterfeit?
I've been working with brand owners to help them to fight against counterfeit. So in my opinion, some of these products are likely to be counterfeit products. For sample A, likely is potentially a counterfeit. This is because you can see that the similarity between the sample A to the authentic product is only about 8% similar.
Yeah. And how about for these two?
They might be a parallel import. Parallel imports are commonly known as a grey market products. They are authentic products which is produced by the brand owners or for the brand owners. They have different ingredients, component and chemical composition. So, but because they are meant for a different market, the parallel import products might pass the quality control or quality checks in a certain country, for instance in the developing countries, but may not necessarily pass the quality control over a developed country, for instance.
The closer the product matches the authentic one, it could possibly be a parallel import and not counterfeit. Who are these counterfeiters?
There are actually different tiers of counterfeiters. There are those that just want to make a quick buck, and also there are professional ones where it's like often being backed by a syndicate. So they may be competitors, or they may even be OEM manufacturers, or it could be even some of the distributors where they actually know the distribution channels and they try to copy the products from the brand owners.
You mentioned syndicates. Can you tell me more about that?
The syndicates are those like they fund the production of the counterfeit products, and they can be found probably in the Southeast Asia, North Asia, and even South Asia countries.
Why is it that skincare products and healthcare products are so susceptible to counterfeiting?
They have high perceived value, and that's where it attracts the counterfeiters to actually copy them because they can have a high profit margin.
How much profit are these counterfeiters making?
The counterfeiters are making a huge profit out of it, primarily because they are using lesser ingredients or even fake ingredients, and at the same time they actually copy the product packaging. They do not need to spend money on the marketing and also distribution channels.
For the potentially counterfeit products, I purchased them online, so they are readily available. How are the sellers getting away with this?
For counterfeit products, they actually copy the packaging, the features of all the products. So it's very hard for consumers to identify them.
In 2024 alone, the Health Sciences Authority seized over 970,000 illegal health products. More than 7,000 listings were taken down online. Some of these include counterfeit products. But just how harmful can these products be? It seems like some of the products I've purchased at the start might be counterfeit, but just how harmful can these products be? I'm bringing the results of my lab tests to Dr. Derek Lim. He's a dermatologist who has treated patients who have suffered from using questionable products.
A couple of them complain of skin irritation when they use these products, so they may get things like redness, skin dryness, flaking of the skin.
I actually did some tests on a few products. So I brought the results here. This is where the authentic product is, and these are all the results of the different products that we got. Surprisingly, a lot of them were very, very low matches. What might be the ingredient or ingredient composition that might be harmful to us?
The thing about counterfeit products is that they are really not regulated and there's no quality control. So the ingredients that they contain can be very, very different from the authentic products. So sometimes, at best, they may just be simply ineffective, but in worse scenarios, they may contain things that may irritate the skin, or they may contain potential allergens, which people can develop skin allergy to.
And that's permanent, right? When you develop an allergy?
Everyone has their individual tendencies to develop the allergy, but yeah, once they're allergic to something, they shouldn't expose themselves to in the future.
This one, it's a very popular cleanser, but the ones we bought, yeah, as you can see, completely low matches.
Usually, cleansers themselves, even if they're counterfeit, they may not contain something that's especially harmful, but they may contain ingredients that may be irritating to the skin. Because usually when companies market cleansers for sensitive skin, they would try to use as little preservatives and fragrances as possible. So when the counterfeit manufacturer wants to sort of mimic the cleanser, they might not be so conscious about excluding these ingredients from their manufacturing process. So if patients with sensitive skin unknowingly use these products which may contain these irritating ingredients, then they might get more breakouts of their sensitive skin.
All right, for sunscreen, I understand that it would be quite alarming if you're getting a product that's not truly the original, right?
Chemical sunscreens actually contain chemicals to absorb the UV light to help to reduce the damage that the ultraviolet light does to our skin. So if the sunscreen doesn't contain the appropriate chemicals, then it actually defeats the purpose of using it as well. You think that you're getting sun protection, so you get a lot of sun. So it does make matters worse. In many cases, when you buy a counterfeit product, you will be aware very quickly that it's a counterfeit, especially if you used the genuine product before, because it's quite different. So you'll stop using it very fast. But a lot of the side effects of using these counterfeit products may only be evident in the long term.
What do I do with these questionable products that I bought?
Report them.
And that's exactly what I will do. The Health Sciences Authority is the main regulatory body involved in the testing of all healthcare and skincare products, including those online. In her 10 years of experience in enforcement, Annie Tan has seen her share of counterfeits. So here are some skincare products that I bought online that are possibly counterfeit. How did they fall through the cracks?
There is no way we can test all the products on e-commerce platforms because of the volume of goods that are being sold on there. And therefore, we go by risk basis, meaning the higher risk ones, the ones that is giving the most red flags. And even with that itself, it is only a very small percentage that we can test.
What are some red flags that you've encountered?
Well, for cosmetic products, it could be the fact that consumers complain about the fact that they suffer some skin reactions, some adverse effects from using the product. It could be that they are saying that the product is counterfeit, and there are a lot of reviews on it.
Looking at the lab test results, they are a really low match from the authentic product itself. So I think that's quite alarming, right?
Yes, it is.
So then, whose responsibility is it to safeguard consumers from buying counterfeit items online?
Well, I would say that the primary responsibility still lies on the consumers. The consumers must be able to discern the product that they are buying so that they do not feed into the syndicates. The regulators will play our part to proactively screen or scan the environment for such products to protect the consumers, the product owners as well, because they are the only one who can really tell which are the real products and which are the counterfeits. And for the platform administrators, we work in collaboration with them to remove any such products from the market as soon as possible.
So I still have some of these possibly counterfeit items with me and the sellers' profiles. What should I do?
We will do the necessary investigation.
How does it work then with such a wide number of sellers out there?
The market is made up of overseas sellers as well as local sellers. For overseas sellers, we would not have the enforcement reach, and that is difficult for us to enforce. Usually, we will get information either from the consumers, from the industry players, or from international enforcement agencies or our local enforcement agencies. At times, we even have our own platform administrators who will come and let us know that there are certain products that are dubious and asking us to verify.
I've passed Annie the possible counterfeit products as well as the list of online sellers who sold them to me, and they've promised to take action. Major e-commerce platforms indicate clearly they ban the sale of counterfeit products. And they are committed to working with brand owners and enforcement agencies to remove any counterfeit listings. I also messaged the sellers of the possible counterfeit products. Some replied claiming that they are selling genuine products. I told them I sent their products for testing against authentic ones bought from official retailers. One seller even questioned the authenticity of my original product. I also emailed the product brands to talk about what can be done to combat counterfeits online. We did not receive a response before the episode went to air. While regulators and platforms continue with their own enforcement of counterfeits, as consumers, you can spot the red flags, such as unbelievably low prices that are too good to be true, and whether the product is being sold by the official online store of the brand itself. So be mindful, because if you're not, you might not be getting the real thing.